Welcome to Tell You Later, the show where we guarantee a laugh or your money back.
Thanks to all those who support us on Patreon. By the way, there's always room for more.
And don't forget to like and subscribe to their channel.
We haven't got a title song for this show, so we're singing this thing instead.
Okay.
It's really just a substitute. Nonetheless, the melody may stay in your head.
Oh, I hope so.
'Cause it's a tune.
It's a tune.
You'll love to croon.
You'll love to croon.
But there's one thing you should know. We have to confess we do not possess a title song for this show.
Ain't it peculiar?
Believe it or not, we haven't got a title song for this show.
Oops. Welcome to another episode of Tell You Later. So I am at a tropical background with a tropical and sort of adventurous hat today because I have a special guest coming on the show today. I'm so excited. But before we start, I just want to say thank you so much to all our patrons who support Tell You Later, and those of you who haven't necessarily wanted to contribute monthly but really like our show and have gone to www.merchyalater and found some of the cool stuff we have on our website, such as mugs. And we have a brand new style mug for Tell You Later. We have t-shirts, and we have tote bags and all kinds of stuff like that. So please check it out if you like the show and you want to support us, go there. So now, let me tell you what's going on. You can't see our mystery guest because our mystery guest is hiding. I will tell you that it is a she, and she is causing all kinds of commotion in the Adventures in Odyssey universe, as well as in the world in general, because wait till you get to know her. She is one of the most exciting guests we've ever had on the show. Would you please reveal yourself, mystery guest? She's wearing sunglasses. We don't know who it is, but it is Monica Padilla! All the way from the other side of is it the continent? Yes, the continent. Mm-hmm. Over in Florida, which is why she's not here at the Tell You Later studios, but I'm trying to recreate an atmosphere in which she will feel familiar and comfortable, because you are a world traveler. You've done amazing things, not just in Odyssey, but in real life as well. And I want to talk about all that stuff because you're amazing. So for those of you who don't know, I don't know where you've been, Monica plays Jillian. Can I call you Jillian? I'll call her Monica, but for Odyssey purposes, she's Jillian, who is Connie's roommate. She's been living at my character's house for a couple of years now, maybe. I don't know, a year.
Favorite roommate ever.
She is so funny. She plays the ditziest person in the world. However, we have had a turn of events. The last 6 episodes, there's been this big reveal, and Jillian/Monica, you are not as ditzy as you appear to be, are you?
Ooh, no. I mean, in real life, Anna's Jillian. Did you say spoiler alert? Should we have like a
spoiler alert? If you haven't heard these episodes, just plug your, just put your fingers, and after you get past this, you might want to listen. Yeah. Because we thought you were just as dumb as a box of nails, and it turns out you are a super spy with amazing intelligence and powers, and you end up saving Jason's life, right? Mm-hmm. And perhaps bringing a little romance, a little mystery, a little romance into the show, yes? Oh,
J&J.
Kathy Buchanan is getting her wish, our writer. We got to get her on the show next, actually, I'll tell you later. So normally we are in the same studio together, but you were so kind to cut out some time in your schedule to talk to us all the way in Florida land. And were you surprised when we did these the 28 Hours is the name of the album, I guess?
Well, I knew that Jillian wasn't what everyone thought she was, because, I mean, with the character arc, you know, we wanted to go there and have that in mind and have that on the back of my mind. But I was waiting for when it would be this big reveal. And it was actually even bigger and better than what I could have possibly imagined. I thought that it was so much fun the way that it was written.
Yeah. Just stringing us along.
And like the mystery. I thought it was really cool and really different. So, I knew, and I just had it on the back of my mind, just how do you distinguish these two different sides of this person?
Well, you couldn't be any ditzier. I think there's no, like, I think my character has a line like, intelligence. Is that you're an intelligence officer? What's some of your... So Townsend Coleman plays Jason on the show. Did he know he know ahead of time? He probably read the script ahead of time.
I think so. I mean, if we really go back, I believe it was as early as callbacks, which would have been like 2017 or something like that, because we had to read it and they did a whole chemistry read and all of that, and it was completely different.
Did they quiz you on chemistry? I never took chemistry in high school. Was it hard?
That's a very Jillian comment. So yeah, everyone listening, it's just to see how you interact with each other. And so they had a completely different script written where it was revealed that I was this agent and I'm like trying to save Jason or look out for him. And so I think they had that in mind from before. But then as the stories have progressed in our storylines and our characters and all of that, it evolved into this awesome episode.
Because, so just, you probably don't know, but I just switched to gallery view because I was a little picture in the corner, but now we're actually side by side because I'm not proficient in Zoom, and this thing is itchy. I bet and you'll tell us what a real flower lay feels like, I'm sure later, but this one's pretty itchy, so it's causing me half my brain to think about scratching my neck. But now we're side by side, so that's good. What was I gonna say? So the chemistry, you did the test, that worked out. That was interesting.
So that's when it was first like revealed that you're not just JILL Jillian, you are this agent, and so that with that in mind, I tried to kind of amplify the ditzy, knowing that I'd have to find that yin and yang.
Well, I know she has some pretty crazy lines like, oh, you've got your new Tell You Later tote bag.
Cute? I love it.
Did you get that at Merchulator?
I sure did.
Merchulator.com.
It's so cute.
Look, super
Tell
cute.
Ya Later bag, and it's got everything in it.
Do they have hats? Jillian asks Connie if an egg's a vegetable or something really lame like that. So it's pretty funny. I think it's pretty funny. So, yeah, so this is a big thing. And all the fans, in case you guys don't know out there is a Facebook group called Adventures in Odyssey Fan Club. And, yeah, I think you have to be a fan to join. But if you are, you can. And everybody's talking about, they're like, oh my, this is the greatest thing ever. They're sinking their teeth into it. They're so excited. So do you travel back and forth from Florida to LA?
I do, yeah. And so I spend a lot of time down here, and then I spend a lot of time in California. I kind of split my time between the two. So I come back for Odyssey, and I come back for work, and I travel for work. And then I also have family down here in Florida, so...
All right, so let's get to the heart of this, because you are not just a voice actor. You wear many hats. I only have this one hat, but I can hear the echo under it. I might take it off. Look at this big...
Yeah, show off your beautiful do. You got
I'm
it.
Show off I did wash my hair today.
It looks fabulous.
Thank you. So I wonder if I could switch you to the other side of the screen, because I think this is my better side. Okay, so now I'm looking at you this way. If you turn your head to your right, it'll look like we're talking to each other. Yes.
Oh, I can switch it? Okay.
I'm just having Zoom fun. Okay, so so you're... Why do I have this background? Because Monica was also a Survivor winner from the TV show Survivor, right?
I was a contestant. I didn't win.
Oh, okay.
I was a contestant.
I would have voted for you. Yes.
Yes. Which is funny because I've actually had some people reach out to me that listen to Odyssey that also watch Survivor. And so they're like, my worlds have collided. And so I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, I did Survivor twice. I did it once in 2009 and then I did it again in 2015. I did not win. I came very close the first time. The second time,
was it harder when you were older or easier when you were older?
I felt it was harder when I was older, and I always thought going back and knowing the game that was the purpose of the theme of our game of what would you do if you had a second chance. And I always thought, oh my God, that's going to be so much easier. It was a lot harder for me. It was more uncomfortable to sleep. I think it was 25 the first time I did it. And then I was like 31 the second time I did it, which doesn't seem like a big gap, but it actually kind of is. You have more like back issues and stuff like that. And
well, a lot of stuff has happened in your life since you were 25, probably. That
totally,
you developed a career, which we will talk about as well. So when you went on Survivor, were you just like a normal civilian who worked like Chick-fil-A or were in college, or were you an actress or what? Law school.
Yeah, I was in law school. So before that, I was mostly musical theater and I was acting, but I played Pocahontas at DisneyWorld. I don't know if you knew that.
How cool is that?
I guess when you like break my life up into these little bites, I'm like, oh, I guess that is pretty
You're kind of eclectic, Monica. You're very eclectic. There's no like straight line that predicts the path of your career. It's like all over the place. Yes.
No. So I had acted before, but when I was recruited for Survivor, I didn't apply. Someone saw me just out and being animated.
So they didn't see you at Disneyland being Pocahontas and said, this seems like somebody who has survival skills.
No, because actually for Survivor, they don't really want actors. They want real people. They want real people just out there to play the game and compete. They don't want someone that's, trying to be famous or whatever. But if it fits, they'll cast them. But for me, they were just like, okay, well, you're in law school. You're not really an actor anymore, right? And I was like, yeah, I'm in law school. And so I was recruited, and they asked me if I would ever do a reality show, to which I said no. And I was thinking more like Bachelor or Bachelorette, which is something I would just never do. And I've never really watched it. It's just not my thing. And so then from there on out, they kept saying, you should really try this. I think you'd be really good at it. And my sister always wanted to do it.
Who are these people talking to you?
Casting directors for the show.
Like, would they call you on the phone or knock on your door?
They got my number, they'd call me on the phone, they'd say, hey, like, have you reconsidered this? Like, please.
I bet Survivor's not an easy sell.
No. I mean, well, for some people, the only thing they ever want to do is play Survivor. For some people, they're just obsessed, like, super fans or, mostly super fans. They would just love to get on.
How long had it been on the air before they contacted you?
So I guess it premiered in 2001 with Richard Hatch, and then my season was 2009. So they do 2 seasons, and then my season was season 19. So it had been on for 9 years.
Wow.
That was the 19th season.
I didn't realize it was on that long. Wow.
Yeah, I know. Time flies. And now they're up to season 40 something.
So they still do it. Mm-hmm. Can people watch you in reruns?
Yeah, you can go back on. I think it's Netflix that has it now. I think my Samoa season shows a little bit more of me. I didn't do so well in the next one.
So you were in Samoa. Does this look anything like Samoa?
Yes.
It does.
It does. Yeah.
All right.
It does.
That's my truth bell.
There's like waterfalls, and they have like waterfall slides that we did, which were really fun. These natural water slides that were just a blast, because you still get to do fun stuff on challenges. If you win challenges, you get rewards.
Because I honestly haven't ever watched. It seemed mean. It's kind of scary and mean and uncomfortable to me to watch. So
it could be a lot. I mean, yeah, I realize how much my anxiety just goes through the roof. Of you never know when people are coming after you. You don't. I mean, I thought I was really good at challenges. Turns out I am not good at challenges.
Can you describe what it was like? I'm sure I'm not the only person who's interviewed you about this show, right? You've probably been interviewed a million times. But how about let's put it this way. Tell us what it was like, how long you were there, what you had to do, and then if Jillian was on Survivor, what she would do differently.
Oh, man. So I was there. I was on the show the first time for 33 days. I was voted off on day 33.
That's a long time. Do they pay you for work you missed and stuff like that?
Well, they give you, technically, I think it's SAG-AFTRA, but then you get more money the longer you make it on the show. So you get your episodic, and then you make...
Oh, that's good to know.
That's an amount for going to the reunion and stuff like that. But the first place prize is $1 million.
Whoa.
That's why when you said Survivor winner, I was like, I wish. I did not. I didn't make it that far.
What's the fangirl up to this week? To find out, stay tuned till after the credits.
But I was there for 33 days. I mean, you're just starving, you're hungry, you're playing games.
They don't feed you?
No, you have to feed yourself. So you hunt for your food, or you fish, or you pick fruit, and you prepare. You even have to boil your water, because you have to disinfect your water so you don't get sick.
Do they give you fire matches?
So usually the first episode, you play for fire. And what I mean by that is you play for flint, because you could use flint like you do camping. I mean, but even with flint, making a fire is not easy, right? But if you lose the first challenge, you don't get flint. So you have to literally sticks and tinder and just...
Were you a Girl Scout?
No.
Oh, wow. You were really at a disadvantage.
No, I'd never even been camping before going on Survivor.
Oh my goodness. Did your family think you were nuts?
They were so worried. And so my mom and dad, they're big prayers. They light candles for everything. And so now to have me out in
They had fire. If only you had one of those candles, you would have been okay, right?
So every day, just lighting the candles, I'm praying for me out there. I mean, and so, when you get voted off, you're like, oh, poor thing, they're still praying, because no one knows when you're voted off, So,
wow.
But I made it out safely. I mean, only a couple bumps and bruises and bug bites and stuff.
Do people get really hurt?
Some people get really hurt, yeah. I mean, in challenges, someone fell on a fire once, like a bonfire. Yeah, people get hurt. And if they get, really hurt, they're taken out of the game, which usually people are so invested in the game and competing that they would rather
it's just a flesh wound, right?
Be taken out. They're like, I'm fine. No, you don't understand. You are about to collapse. You need to be admitted to a hospital. No, I don't. I'm good. Just put me back in the game. That's how
cow. What did you find to eat there? What was the?
So we would fish. We get crabs, those beach crabs that kind of scuttle up on the beach, and you can boil them, or you can, just grill them right on the fire. And then one weird thing that we used to eat was hermit crabs. Not a lot of meat, but yeah, you eat hermit crabs. And what was another thing that was kind of weird? Oh, they had these giant clams that we would eat.
Those are good.
They were okay. I mean, they were really big. They're this big. And so we ate that a lot our second season.
So,
and then things like bananas, plantains, papaya, those grow on the island.
Oh, that's good. That helps. Mm-hmm. But do they give you a knife or anything to open it?
They give you one machete for camp. Oh, and coconuts. Yeah, so you hack open coconuts, you drink coconut water, but you can't drink too much because it gives you diarrhea.
Yes, I've discovered that myself. I do like coconut. But you got to be careful about that. So what made you want to go on a second time?
I just felt since I was in 7th place and I made it to day 33, you have to make it to day 39 to be in the finals, to be considered to win. Usually it's 1 of 3 or 1 of 2. And so I just felt like I got so close that I could probably win if I did it again. that was the thought.
And would that have been $1 million too, or more?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They've actually done like an all-winner season where each person is competing, and they've already won a season since they've done so many seasons. And they did that one. It was like season 40. It was during COVID, and the winnings was $2 million.
Where did you go the second time?
Cambodia.
There's a lot of bugs there, isn't there?
Yeah, so I got really attacked by bugs in Cambodia. Samoa, not so much.
You have to wear like a suit of armor, but they don't give you a suit of armor. I
had sand flea bites all over my arms, all over my legs, like hundreds and hundreds of bites. They were terrible.
That's
I'm already a magnet from mosquitoes, but I can't even. It was pretty bad.
Oh, so would you ever do it again?
No,
that's it. We're done. We're done. Because now, did this first show happen? You said you were in law school.
Hmm.
Was that like during summer break?
Yes. No. So I had just graduated from law school. I was in my final year when I was applying for the show, or being pitched to these producers. And so when I graduated, I was in the midst of like sending them what I would wear and doing all my vaccines. So I graduated, and I'd say maybe 2 weeks later, I got on a plane to play the game.
Wow. Okay, so now you're a lawyer.
Yes.
So do you represent people on Survivor who have been like getting diseases from the show?
I haven't had any survivors as my clients yet. Right now, what I do is I litigate for models and actresses.
You do. So your acting background is used for your legal expertise.
Mm-hmm. And so what I do a lot of, I'm a plaintiff's attorney, and so I do discrimination cases, and I do really meaty, serious stuff like that. And then also I'm on the entertainment side, where I pursue people who have misappropriated images of models and actresses and just take them and use them to either brand their businesses or their products, and they just steal them from the internet, which you can't do. So it's called misappropriation.
Did you hear that out there? If you don't own it, don't use it. Don't use people's... I wonder if we're guilty of that.
Commercial value. So anything where you're making money, you cannot use a person. You can post it on your Instagram and say, wow, I'm a really huge fan of Katie. That's no big deal. But you can't say, hey, Katie thinks that you should buy this nail polish.
Okay, so, and I might be telling on myself, but I don't want to get in trouble. If Will were still here, he'd be like, oh, be careful. So we were talking on one episode, and we were talking about Eddie, who is the guy?
Albert.
Yeah, we were talking about Eddie Albert, but we were calling him Eddie Arnold. So we made a mistake. So then we had to go back and say, no, like a disclaimer. They were talking about this person, but really they meant this person. So we found their picture on the internet. Is that any kind of a bad thing?
No. Did you use it to sell a product or use it?
No, but it's on YouTube. People watch it, but we're not. We didn't say Eddie Albert watches Tell You Later because he's passed away.
I don't think that. I think you're good.
Okay.
I think you're good.
Okay, good. I don't want to upset anybody. But that's interesting. So how do people find you? How do they know that you're the person? Hey, guys, if you're out there and anybody
it's my firm, so it's the Costas Law Firm, and they've been doing this for 30, 40 years now.
Casas,
like houses in Spanish.
Casas.
So Costas Law Firm. And so they've been doing this for a really long time. So I joined them as a partner, and it's just been a lot of fun. I love it.
Wow, that's great. Well, because you're getting justice for people without having to deal with, like, murder or stuff.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't know that I could do the whole crime thing. thing. Criminal law is not my jam.
But it is criminal. It's just different kind of crime, right?
Well, it's civil, right? So it's in civil court. It's just not it's not criminal. It's not.
So the idea, I imagine, if they use somebody's image, is you want to get them compensated, right?
Right. So you want to get them compensated.
Get their picture off of there.
Get the picture off. You want to get them compensated what they would have been paid, but also whatever damage they've done to their reputation or, so that's pretty much it.
I'm picturing a picture of you on a billboard in Florida, like, I survived and I can help you too, or something.
Well, so all of my clients are mostly in California.
So that's why you come out here.
Yeah.
Well, that's funny, but they find you in Florida. But you could be with your spear, your fishing spear. Yeah, we go after those guys who are using your image in the wrong way, right? Well, you speak Spanish too, right?
I do.
I wonder if we'll ever have you use Spanish. So, are you doing any other voiceover work besides Odyssey? Or any modeling?
Not at the moment. I haven't been at the moment. It's been a bit of a hectic year, but I'm definitely open to it. I just haven't recently.
So you still want to, and the law firm is cool with that. They're like, yeah, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, they love it.
You could actually find work that way. The more you network with your possible clientele, right? Oh, let me write that down. They did what? Okay, I'm gonna get back to you on that, right? Yeah, I mean that's amazing. So, why did you move to Florida? Because your family's there?
Well, so I didn't totally move here full time. I just come back to help my family and everything, and then I work mostly out of California. So I'm just here a lot more than I used to be. But my dad is really sick.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
So he has Alzheimer's, and he's kind of like he's like a big baby, you know? So it's funny to see how the life cycle kind of reverses or loops. And so he's sick, and so I help my mom here too.
Oh, I bet she's so glad. She's so glad you survived, so you could be there to help her.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's and that's part of life. It's sometimes it makes me weepy thinking about those things. When I coach voice acting students, a lot of times I'll use the Shakespeare has a speech, The 7 Ages of Man. Have you ever read it? So, but it starts out as a baby, and then he describes all these 7 stages, and the last one is where you're like a baby again. Yeah, so there's nothing new under the sun. That's kind of what happens to us. And
very Benjamin Button.
Yeah, but that's why we have to make friends. We need friends to help us get through life. That's a true fact. Have you ever been to Focus on the Family?
No.
Because they should have your picture up there. I don't know what they're gonna. They have a new app now that's trying to, like, where you can listen to the episodes. I'm just telling you, I'm filling you in. You need to call the office and get on that app so you can listen. And when you're traveling, flying back and forth.
Totally.
Yeah, I think you would like it. It's good. I think so I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen. Thank you so much to all you patrons who help us out there. We really appreciate your support. Thank you, everybody who's buying merch on Merchulator. Go to my website, katielee.com, and see, there's all kinds of cool stuff. And you can see it there or on Merchulator.com. And also those who listen on Anchor, I want to shout out to you guys because I know there's a bazillion of you out there who listen and really appreciate you too. The last episode, because I don't think you got to hear everything, but you recorded the show, so you remember, and you said you were going to stay in Odyssey and stay living at my house, and Townsend's character was like beside himself with how dumb you are. Is like, oh, and my character's like, hey, Jason, she really is cute, and she's smart, and she's adventurous. Put my hat back on. She's adventurous. Yeah, why don't you take her out on a date? Right? So that's exciting. That's exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Did they tell you anything else? What's going to happen? Or now it's all a big surprise?
I feel like even if they did, I shouldn't like say anything, right? But no, they didn't.
No, of course not. You're probably sworn to secrecy. Yeah. That's probably, what's one of the most exciting cases that you've ever won? Like, so you were like so happy that oh yes.
That's tough because I'm working on a few right now that are still confidential.
So
I have one that's really good and really juicy.
Ooh.
But I guess I could give a little bit about it. It's a discrimination matter. And I love it because I love fighting for people and for advocating for people and for doing what's right. So,
what's the biggest discrimination that you see? Is it like ageism or sexism?
So this case has a little bit
Girl boyism?
both. This case is more is age discrimination and racism, which are all super serious issues. But I'm excited about it because I get to do something great for someone. So I've worked on that, and then in another firm, I actually worked on a matter that was a discrimination due to gender and pregnancy. So there's just a lot of different things you can do in the area, in the area of law to advocate for people on their behalf.
Are laws changing for like when when women get pregnant? And
I mean, there's laws out there to protect women, protect by gender, age, and race, of course. But what I'm finding is that companies and employers are being a little bit more crafty about how they do it. So they're super careful about what they say, and they're becoming very passive aggressive.
Well, they got lawyers on their side too, right?
Totally. And so they may not say anything that's racist or discriminatory against age or disability, but the way that they exclude and the way that they kind of mistreat and the way that they bully people, it's evident that it's there.
So here's a question, because I'm kind of a little bit naive about this. Especially in the voiceover business. Right now they're trying to be very authentic when they're like, even if you were to be asked, you got to be Pocahontas at Disneyland. Now, I don't know, does that extend to the people in the costumes that they want a Native American now to be Pocahontas? When we're doing voiceover, they want very much, if they can find somebody who's Native American to play those voices. And yet, we have these privacy things where people aren't supposed to ask you how old you are. So how do you?
I think it's really interesting. I think when it comes to the entertainment business, it's really interesting, and it's harder because when you're looking at a character type, it just has to fit that character. But I would say, even for DisneyWorld, for instance, there are not a ton of Native American musical theater actresses who live in Orlando or Kissimmee, right? And so they have to work with what they have to fill these characters.
Kissimmee? I thought it was Kissimmee.
Kissimmee, I don't know.
Oh, I'm probably saying it wrong because I'm not from Florida.
I'm probably saying it wrong, and I live there, so.
Kissimmee. I think that sounds more like a place than Kiss Me.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think for casting purposes, you have to cast the role. I don't think there's anything necessarily discriminatory. You're looking for a great actor or actress who people connect with.
But that's a big issue. I was just on Clubhouse. People were talking about it. Because there is that privacy thing, right? There's a privacy where they're not supposed to ask you how old you are, or I
remember I did a paper on this actually are we like totally going down a rabbit hole here? I did a paper on, it was discrimination.
Hey, Monica, you know the best way to catch a rabbit?
What?
Hide in the bushes and make a noise like a carrot.
Carrots make noise?
Well,
that's the joke.
Okay, carry on.
No, but I did a paper once and it was on Miss Saigon, and they had cast, it was a famous actor named Jonathan Pryce, who is not Asian or Vietnamese in any way. And the problem that I think existed there was that there was a huge community of Asian actors and actresses who wanted work who don't have enough roles written for them.
Right.
And so in that respect, it's like, you need to cast this name to bring an audience, or why can't you just cast this awesome actor or actress who would love a shot at being a leading role on Broadway when you finally have a role for them when there's not enough roles written, you know?
So I'm going to ask you one more lawyer question. So as a lawyer and knowing how things work, is it like now sometimes we're dubbing movies or we're playing a character. Is it fair for the casting people to say, what's your ethnicity? What's your religious background? What's your sexual preference? I mean, that's
tough. I think it just depends on what the person is comfortable volunteering, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Because those are the real issues that were, you know, and if you guys have any comments or ideas, put them in the comments below for sure, because this is the biggest challenge, because I'm all for it. I'm totally like the paper you wrote. I think that they should try to find actors that fit, especially face actors when you're up there, but also voice actors. But how far do you dig, you know, right now? And I don't know if you're seeing any specs in, you know, reading roles, but it's like, well, my great-grandmother came from Cambodia, so I'm part Asian, so I can read for this role. I mean, like...
Yes. I mean, I think it should be who can read for the role best, who does the best job. And
well, from your mouth to God's ears, we'll put you on the SAG board. It's really tricky. And besides that, now they got all these COVID things, too, that they're working with.
I mean, some people say, like, okay, don't tell them your age. Don't tell them your ethnicity. Like, you're going to just... I think if you choose not to, that should be okay. But for me, I've always been like, you know, I'm Puerto Rican, I'm 39.
Well, yeah.
But I'm comfortable with saying that. But if you're not, and if you don't want to, and you just want to, you know, give yourself a competitive advantage, I think it should be your right to not have to share that.
Yeah, and you might lose out on things because people don't know, because when they were in the discussion I was in, they're saying, let your agent know, let people know who you are, because they're casting these broad nets and they're looking for people. So, you know, that's that balance between authenticity and acting. Yeah, so that's tricky. But if you were, okay, so you didn't say, if you were Jillian on Survivor, what would she do different? What would you do you think? What would she do?
I think that Jillian would be super crafty on Survivor, because although it was really fun to play her, I am not a double agent.
You aren't? What?
No, not. So I think that she'd do really well, because she'd be really good at, like, interrogating people, getting information out of people. She's really good at playing, like, this double life. And so for me, it was really hard to kind of lie to people. I wasn't a great liar.
You have to lie to people on Survivor?
Sometimes you don't want to, like, expose who you're voting for, you know. Sometimes if you came up to me and said, hey, are you voting for me tonight? A lot of times I'm going to say, oh, no, you're safe, because I don't want you to turn on me. But I found it was a lot harder to play that role.
Because you're a super nice, wonderful person who cares about people. You're honest. Then the other thing too is whenever I tried to be like super crafty, it was so obvious I was being crafty. But yet you're an actress. You're an actress. Why couldn't you pull that off?
Yeah, I know. I don't know, because it's different when you're just yourself in real life and you're hungry and sleep deprived.
Wow, that sounds like a dream job.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I don't know if you got a chance to see Tell You Later or not, but I hope that I'm gonna share this with you. So one of the things that we often do is we don't want to say everything, because we want to leave something for maybe a future episode. So I'm going to set you up to close this show, okay? So, Monica, what's your next project?
Ooh.
You say, tell you later.
I'll tell you later.
Oh, okay.
Thanks for watching. Tell You Later is a Patreon-driven entertainment show. So what are you waiting for? Come on over, join us for so much more at patreon.com/Tell You Later.
I didn't wink or nod or nudge too slightly, acquiesce, but still somehow you up and guessed my inclination.
Look at this! It even says happy birthday on so many things. Well, Mr. Whitaker saluted. Yes, look at that. That's so cool. I know, but if you don't like this room, or maybe you do, but you want to try something else, let's go this way. Okay. This is called Downtown Main Street. Come on. Well, and there's movement. Let's go into JJ&J Antiques. Come on. Triple J Antiques. Look at this. Look at this. You didn't have to want your party in here. Yes, look at all the antiques, and there's Jack and Joanne. I know. So you could just set up your party. You could have a tea party. Why, you could have a Wad Fam Chocolate party.
Yes,
Yes,
absolutely.
maybe some raspberry ripples and a wooden sundae.
Yes, for sure.
Okay, we're sold.
Mac and cheese all the way.
Mac and cheese. Oh,
To macaroni.
yes, I'll take 3, please.
Yes, please.